I certainly don't deserve to stand here, so I'm moving over. It's his place.
Aww.
Good morning, church family.
Morning.
My name is Jay Keeley. Kathy Keeley is my wife. Please stand up. Most of you know Kathy. She's very shy. She doesn't talk. Very introverted young lady, right, Miss Doris? Most of you got to know Kathy before you got to know me. And you know how beautiful she is, both inside and out. She actually cares for other people more than she cares for herself sometimes. She's an amazing woman. But most of you didn't know who I was. And most of you, even the pastor, didn't know who I was until a year ago. Kathy was ashamed of me, and there's a reason for that. God has a plan. He has a plan for everybody, and I'm here to prove it today. Today, this very day, we celebrate 31 years together. We dated for 10 years, we've been married. We dated, and I couldn't run any faster, and she caught me. 21 years married. 16 of those months we were separated. But today we celebrate the first year anniversary as Jesus Christ is the head of our household. We were married a year ago. In Valley Forge Baptist Temple, we renewed our vows last year. January 2010, our marriage was in the rocks. There was no love. We didn't talk. We really were pretty much in two different rooms. We were separated. But then all of a sudden this happened. Kabam! That tree fell on our house. That's a 10,000-pound tree. I call that a Ben Franklin tree. And if you can read that was in our local newspaper. And we were on TV. But it says, the storm before the calm. I was in a storm and didn't even know it. And what blows my mind about this is you see a lot of insurance policies said they're an act of God, and that covers tornadoes and hurricanes and floods and trees falling on your house. This was 2010, February 25th. That tree fell on our house. That was not an act of God. That was God saying, wake up, Jay. I have a plan for you. You need to listen. But did I? No, I didn't listen. And I'll show you the next picture. That's the tree from the back of the house.
Oh my.
Okay, it crushed the house. That house had to be torn down. It was condemned. Next. That's a picture from the front of the house. The window on the right side is our daughter's window in her bedroom when she was in her room. Next. The window on the left side is our bedroom, and my head was literally 5 feet from that window when that tree fell. We didn't get a scratch, nobody was bleeding, nobody was hurt. That's a wake-up call. Kathy has a Madonna and an angel in the living room, and the tree came through the living room ceiling. There was all kinds of insulation and stuff was on the floor, but Madonna was still standing. That's a clue. God leaves clues. 3 years later, March 6th, we were separated. I brought Kathy down here to Atlantic City to live with a friend. I went to live with my sister, and it was over. Done. Stick a fork in it. See you. Have a nice life. But as I look back now, I blame myself 100% for everything that happened. And here's why. I was selfish, arrogant, prideful, boastful, ignorant, stubborn, stiff-necked, my way or the highway. I wear the pants. I pay the bills. I make all the decisions. You know anybody like that? Well, all that, and I had a bad attitude. And I usually shifted blame onto other people, so I didn't take responsibility, and Kathy was usually in the way. I thought I was a good Christian, but we didn't have God in our house. We had a Bible in the house, but I couldn't tell you where it was, and it hadn't been opened, but it had my name on it. Over the next 30 days after we separated were the darkest days of my life. I was in depression, thoughts of suicide. What did I do? Unbeknownst to me, God had a plan to put me on a path to to salvation and reconciliation with my wife. Next. I found this verse, and I really want to share it with everybody, and it's James 1, 2 through 4. And God at times sends us trials to develop patience in us. My brother, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But patience have her own perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. And being a baby Christian, I didn't really know what that meant, so I had to go look, because John always tells us to go look at the commentaries. And this is when I understood it. My friends, consider yourself fortunate when all kinds of trials come your way. For you know that when your faith succeeds in facing such trials, that the result is the ability to endure, to make sure that your endurance carries you all the way without failing, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. But if you lack wisdom, you should pray to God, who will give it to you, because God gives generously and graciously to all. 1 month later, April 3rd, 2013, I found myself in Valley Forge Baptist Temple in a church I've never been to, in front of a pastor I've never met, accepting Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. April 4th, Kathy did the same thing. Within 24 hours, we were both saved. 100 miles apart, God had a plan, a total plan. Kathy and I dated over the several months in that year, and we wound up in a gazebo in Ocean City, praying for the first time in 29 years. Fast forward to July 12th last year. Kathy and I renewed our vows in God's house. But here comes the miracle. The validation of God's plan, and I want to be clear. God doesn't need validation. We as human beings need validation. But this validated it for me. 30 days prior to coming down to Atlantic City to live with Kathy, I had no place to live. Kathy was in Fox Manor. She was working on her TRA. But I committed to come down here. I didn't know where I was going to live. I was going to be in the Mission. I was going to be in Black Horse Pike in my car. I had no idea. Under the boardwalk, no idea. But we were getting remarried, giving our vows July 12th. July 10th, she gets the keys to her apartment. She got the keys to her apartment 2 days before we're going to renew our vows, 3 days before I'm coming down here. That's not a miracle. That's not a coincidence. I don't think so. That's God's plan. Clearly to me. I know the truth. I totally know the truth now. God answers plan. And He's not done with us yet. You are mine, my love. I am yours. Ordained by God from the beginning of time. God brought us together. God kept us together. You are God's gift to me. You are my priceless treasure. My blessings from life. May God continue to bless us as we come together before our friends, as we commit our love to one another. Thank you.